Hey guys, it's Nech for Just Clicking Buttons. So I want to do a new video today and update you on my current challenge I'm doing from 80 bucks to firstly see where I can go. No real goal yet, but there will be some definitely in the future. So I did have some computer issues the last 2 days or 3 days, and I tried to fix them. As you can see, I fixed pretty much everything. Was some issue with the with Windows. I don't know exactly what, but I was able to restore everything I had, so that's pretty fine. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to stream or do videos in the past days. First of all, good news for the challenge so far. We managed to have a little very good session yesterday. Late evening, pretty early in the night. I will tell you more about that in a second, but let's see where we stand right now. We stand at 120 bucks and 1 cent, and that's pretty awesome. Because just in one session yesterday, which I did not stream unfortunately, because I haven't set up everything up until this point. That point, we managed to win, I think, around about 32 bucks in one session. It wasn't 2NL cash game though. It was more or less pretty quick idea I had in mind with a colleague of mine. I'm doing those spin and go ladder challenges for like around an hour. We start with $1 at the $1 spin and go, and if someone manages to win $3 at least or more, we can then go up the ladder and play with this $3. So, for example, you have an $80 bankroll. When you reach $83, you can play $3 spin and goes, and $87 you can play $7 spin and goes, and so on. And we did that yesterday night, and it was a pretty crazy 1 hour session because we ran pretty hot, especially with the prices. He ran a little bit hotter than me though. I think his peak was a $90 win at a $15 spin and go. But I climbed my way up as well with the, I think the two biggest wins of the night were $3 spin and go. I turned into 18 bucks, and then with those pretty much 18 bucks, or yeah, I think with those 18 bucks, I went to the $15 spin and go. Just managed to get a $30 prize pool though, but still, I won that one, and then we pretty much called it a night after 1 hour, and it was pretty fun. I can just tell you guys to try this out. I will definitely try this out on stream and see how we can perform there. But still, it's pretty cool for us now because we can now step up to the next cash game limits. So from now on, we will play 5NL, and that's pretty cool that we managed to do that in such a short, not such a short time, but still shorter period of time, at least for me, because I'm not usually playing 8 hours a day, so that's pretty fun. So we have 8 stacks for 5NL now, and that's cool. So we'll see how the shot goes. I will definitely will be streaming my first 5NL shot tonight, probably at around 9:30 p.m. CST, and that's about. Let me just. Has to be 6 hours, so it's around about 3:30 p.m. ET. Your time. I will definitely post it on Twitter, but more on the streaming times later on. What I wanted to show you as well is change the lobby. As I told you in my last video about PokerSchool Online, I'm playing in the Open Skill Leagues right now. Free roll tournament league. Pretty fun. I didn't have that much time in the last few days. I think at the peak I was at like around about place 700. Right now I'm at 1018, but it's fine. I think I will definitely try to play a few more in the next few days. I think I definitely can manage that. As you can see, my results in tournaments are pretty solid so far. I just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tournaments where I didn't made any points, and my worst result was pretty much the -7 points in this tournament. So I think it's pretty solid so far. What I also wanted to do today is go through the biggest hand I played so far at Cash Games, and this is a hand I played yesterday, actually. I had a quick session in the evenings while I was waiting for Windows to do all this Windows update stuff. So just to let you know, because I know some of you guys just want to see like biggest hands played and so on, and that's definitely the biggest I played so far at the 200 cash tables during my challenge. So it's a pretty standard hand, so nothing really to talk about there. I open race with the queens, the honeys, and I get 3-bet. At that point we're very deep, and I don't think there is any merit for us to just 4-bet this guy and then get it in pretty much 200 big blinds deep. So I just call and see a flop and see what he does. He definitely c-bets, but he's like likely to c-bet pretty much any hand he has. He can c-bet jacks, even like ace-10 suited. Might maybe sometimes 3-bet pre-flop, but not very often though. Definitely aces kings. But also ace-king, ace-queen suited and stuff like that, if we do give him a very tight range, which you do usually have to do pretty much at that stake. So even the bet is 3/4 of a pot. I'm still fine with just calling here and see what happens on the turn. I don't plan to, not yet at least, I don't really plan to call off my whole stack on that hand with just an overpair here, because the only hand I pretty much beat at that point on the river is jacks, and yeah, that's not enough. But I mean, as I told you, I won this hand. We managed to get a pretty good turn. The only thing and the only hand pretty much we have to be worried about now is king jack, but usually, I mean, there's no real reason for us to think that this guy has king jack at that point. We make a pretty decent sized bet on the turn and hope we get called still by aces and kings, but something very different happens, and he just overbets pot by I don't know how much, like $3 or something like that. And this is an awesome situation for us. We for sure getting it in here, not very worried about him having a straight here, and we beat all his other sets at that point. And yeah, going to the river, making a full house, and he shows us aces. Yeah, that sometimes happens, but definitely a huge pot for us there. So what I wanted to do also, because I want to discuss two hands with you guys, and would really appreciate your thoughts on those hands in the comments below, or hit me a message on Twitter, or in the PokerSchool online forums if you're a member there. Just let me know what you guys think, because I was streaming the other day and was in two pretty similar situations where I really don't know if I was right playing the hands that way. But let's see what happens. So there was a pretty loose passive guy in first position here, but we're just forehanded at the table. So we are on the button and try to isolate this fellow. The play 4 over here was a pretty interesting dynamic, because he was a pretty tight player all in all, but he was in pretty much every other, or pretty much nearly every pot when I was going into those spots, even out of position. So he calls, and the loose passive guy calls, and we flop pretty decent, I would say. The funny thing is, I was thinking about what will happen in this hand prior on pretty much some flops, and I was pretty sure that this guy would just bet like one big blind or something like that. He doesn't do that, but he bets under half pot, which leads me to the conclusion at that point he has hit this board somehow. So he has made some kind of one pairish hand on that board. I don't think he has overpairs very often, because usually people still, even if they're that loose passive, sometimes they raise pre-flop, or 3-bet you pre-flop, or do something weird. So I'm not very worried about that, but I think we can definitely, him being so deep and we still having a full stack behind us, definitely we could be calling here, but I went for the raise, and this is the first point in the hand where I really am not sure if the raise is fine. I think the raise could be good, just to get this guy out of the hand, and I think he is getting, like, throwing away many hands with when we just call the 10 cents here. So what he actually does is raising, and now I'm really was thinking at the table, what should I do now? My conclusion was, because this guy was folding, but I mean, it doesn't affect our decision that much, because if he's calling, we're more inclined to call this bet, and if he's folding, yeah, he's just out of the picture for us. So I poker stoved this, or poker stoved. I went to Pro Poker Tools and filled in the hand afterwards, and we definitely getting the right price here to call, because we have even against his sets or overpairs, we're definitely getting the right price, and so I made the call here at that point, because our immediate odds are just way too good, because we have to pay 45 cents to win 136 at that point. So that's fine for us. I think the call is fine when we play the hand that way. The turn breaks a 4, and I was thinking about, okay, if he ships it here, I'm pretty much I have to fold, and he does. So we're not getting like 3-1 in that spot, and I was thinking during the stream, if we can play the hand. I think the mistake isn't the fold here, but I don't know. I don't think so, because mathematically we're not getting the right price at that point. But I think at an earlier stage we might have played the hand not optimal, and I'm not really sure. So just let me know if you think I played the hand fine. It's cool. If you don't think I played the hand very good, that's cool with me as well, and I am definitely happy to learn something. So the other hand, and then we pretty much will wrap up the video after that, is the 9-7 suited. Loose passive guy again gets isolated by a pretty tight aggressive player in the second seat. I'm just calling here. I think calling is fine. We're on the button. We're having position during the whole action afterwards, and the blinds all fold. The loose passive guy folds, which is pretty weird because he's so short stacked, and also he has to be more inclined to call with any hand when someone else calls as well, because the price is getting just way better for him. So I don't really know what I was doing, but so I'm up against the tight aggressive guy over there. Again, it's pretty much the same situation as before. We have open straight draw and an overcard to the board, but now there's even like less flush possibilities on the board. Still, again, back to flush draw as well for us. He c-bet, and I went for the exact same line again. Pretty much just raising him on the flop. My reasoning for that is, again, we have a pretty strong draw, but we don't. I mean, in the other hand, we have at least a hand which beats all the unpaired hands right now with the ace. But now we're definitely he will be able to fold hands like ace highs, like ace king, ace queen, king queen suited, jack 10 suited, and all these hands will c-bet this flop and then just pretty much fold to my raise here. And if I get called, I can be pretty sure that he has some decent hand, but I have a lot of equity against pretty much all of those hands. I think so at the point. But what happens is he ships it in my face. Yeah. I mean, at that point, I'm pretty sure he has hands like sets a lot, and he might have hands like 7-8 suited, which I'm not very happy to run against, and hands like aces, kings, queens. I think this is pretty much his range at this point. And I also we could do this way quick because I think this is pretty easy to diamonds, X, 0 clubs and hearts and diamond, and then do queens plus fours, sixes, fives, so I can give him all the sets, and 7-8. Put that in, and so we see we have roughly 28% against that range, and so we need at least like even more than like 2.5 to 1. No, 2.5 to 1. I don't know what I'm saying right now. In 28, I'm so bad with this. I can do this sometimes, but I have a hard time doing it with the 2 to 1 and stuff like that. But we're definitely not getting the right price, because we have to pay 110, 150 to win 250, and even if we had 33%, we needed, which we don't have, we need 2 to 1 to make the call profitable, and we're not even close to getting that. I think it's like 1.6-ish or something like that to 1. I don't know. Maybe tell me how. Maybe there's a little tip you have for me, so I can make this calculations a little bit faster. But we're definitely not getting the right price at that point, and I don't think he's doing this with like random ace king of clubs or something like that. So we just again fold. But I think the real discussion here is again the race with the open-ended straight draw. And feel free, just tell me what you think, you guys on Twitter, YouTube, or at the Poker School online forums. Yeah. So for wrapping everything up, as you can see in the box below, like the lowest box of this, there are new streaming times. So I'm trying to stream daily from 10 p.m. To pretty much 12 p.m. So for 2 hours. I try to do this daily, but I will often just post my streaming times on Twitter in advance, pretty much like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours in advance maybe. If something changed, if I manage to get online a little bit faster earlier, or if something is not working out, I will not stream that day. Still, I don't really have a fixed schedule yet, but I will try to do this daily. But we'll see how it works, how it goes. But I think this might be something I will have to try out. And also these kinds of videos, the update videos, next time a little bit shorter, will come weekly. So on the weekends I will sit down and conclude my my weekly results and hands I played. I want to discuss with you. Maybe I will also fill in some videos during the week, but I can't promise that right now. But sometimes I definitely will just be able to make a short video and upload it and discuss with you guys. So, okay, I think that's it. If you have any questions, it's @Schnech on Twitter. It's just clicking buttons on Twitch TV. Yeah, I hope you had fun. Next time the video will be a little bit shorter. I'm getting used to this. I'm trying to get better at this as well, and not to talk too much. So, quit it now. See you guys. Just click some buttons. Bye.